Welcome to Wisdom for Our Children, where we chat with some cool and interesting people about the NFT space and what they're doing in their projects and how we think it's going to evolve and help businesses in the future. Today, I got two friends of mine, Erik and James. I've known them for about a decade, almost 25% of my life, and I'm excited to have them on the show. James, welcome, and Erik, welcome as well. How are you doing today?
Hey, Joe. Doing well, man. Thanks for having us on.
Hey Joe, what's going
Awesome,
on, man? It's been awesome to
awesome.
reconnect with you over the last few weeks over NFTs and just getting excited about this space and happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for being with me today. I want to start off with the question is kind of how long you guys been into crypto? How long have you been into NFTs? And what kind of got you in that space and kind of bringing us up to this point now?
Man, okay. So I would love to sit here and tell you that, I was an early adopter of cryptocurrency and that I'm sitting on a whole bunch of Bitcoin, but unfortunately that's not the truth. Um, to tell you the truth, I'm actually an accountant by trade, and it took me a little while to finally like clue in and that light switch to go off to say that crypto is something that's amazing and here to stay. For me, my first dabbling into crypto, I really thought mining was amazing. I thought it was a really really cool opportunity to get into something and be able to actually produce your own Ethereum. So I actually in 2020 I bought my first crypto mine, and I've been mining Ethereum ever since. And from there, I went from mining Ethereum, and then NBA Top Shot came up, and NBA Top Shot was huge for me. It was just completely eye opening on how amazing this space could be, and how fun it could be as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty much my jump off point.
Okay. How about you, Erik?
Yes, similar to James, like with NBA Top Shot was kind of like a throwback, right? The pandemic was hitting. We were kind of at home, and at the time, like me and a bunch of buddies were doing like online poker nights. We're doing board game nights online and stuff like that. And then a few of us started to hear about NBA Top Shots, and that was fun. Like we got to kind of collect together. There was a few nights where we were doing like video calls, just kind of roaming the market for moments and speculating on what might be the hot new moment, and collecting, having fun with friends, and also making some money at the same time. And so that was really eye opening. It was like a nice introduction to the NFT space through NBA Top Shots early last year in January. And then throughout the whole summer, it was just any NFT that I can get my hands on, and really just trying to
For sure.
collect and get ahead of this space, and really just listening, learning, talking to people, and then getting into these different communities. And that's sort of what sparked our interest in creating our own community and creating our own project, right? So
Yeah, that's actually a great segue. So I don't know if you set that up on purpose, but it's perfect. You guys started Fertile Guppies. So how did that idea kind of come about? And maybe talk about the utility for your token as well.
yeah, for sure. So how it started, I can kind of take that part. Um, you know, as we were, like Jamie said, even in the crypto space, like you're never the first person to get in, and for us it was, whether you feel like you're early or everyone says they're early, but we were learning a lot as we were collecting together and just meeting new people. And we kind of made a small group of NFT collectors that were looking to learn, looking to help each other and kind of grow in this space. And so we started as just a Discord channel of NFT collectors, maybe 100 people, and we were helping each other with different things and navigating the space. And as the space was changing, we were kind of adopting to it, and helping each other just kind of get the best opportunities, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
that's what sort of sparked, was like, well, we can just do this at a larger scale and help as many people as we can, right? And then I can let James maybe take over as far as like where the next step was as far as kind of launching the NFT.
James, can you also touch on like the timeline, kind of when you're going into this, kind of when you started the Discord group until what kind of when you're like, okay, we need to make something out of this, and then kind of like when you started to think about your own project.
Yeah, so I think it was around like, late spring where we were kind of just all gathering together as like just really just kind of community members, just like friends in the space. We were kind of reviewing projects, talking about new NFT drops that were coming out. But one thing just kept on coming up that like it always set us back is getting those damn invites, because like literally every project that you want to whitelist on has these incredible hoops that you have to jump through, right?
Yeah.
And one of the hardest hoops to jump through is this invite. And so we at that point in time, in probably around the summer time frame, we started reaching out to different people to see if they could help out our own server, and help out our guys. And we weren't even at that point, we weren't even really thinking about it as an NFT. We were just saying, this is a recipe that works for us, right? We
Okay.
want to whitelist on these projects. We want to be able to buy these NFT projects. But guess what? I don't have 40 friends that will join these freaking links, you know? So that's we found a really fantastic promoter. And he has a vast network of people that work with him, in so he can take care of like these invite requirements. That if you have 40 invites that you need to get, that's no problem, because he has a team of like 65 people.
Mm,
So then as we kept on kind of going further and further through this, and it just kept working. We were getting whitelists, and
mm,
people were talking, people liked it. Eric and I thought, well, like, hey, why don't we create an NFT, and we can like we'll make it fun in terms of art, but we'll really focus on the utility piece.
mhm.
And so about like I would say in September, August type time frame, we really started moving forward towards that goal of creating the NFT.
Okay. So how did you come up with the name Fertile Guppies? And then let's talk about the utility behind it and why it's important for people looking to get on the whitelist. Why would they purchase their own guppy?
Yeah,
The
for sure.
Fertile
So
Guppies all James, so he can kind of speak to that. That's
okay,
all him.
so if you've been around this space for a little while, you know that like anything normal doesn't fly in this space, right? First of all, so the Fertile Guppy, it's kind of a play on the open sea, right? And how if you're just trying to get through and buy something on the open sea by yourself, it's much more difficult than traveling together as a school. Essentially
Mhm,
is the kind of the
mm,
play I was going on. And then
mhm.
I went even further, and we were thinking about, okay, well, what fish multiply faster than anything? Was guppies, right? So
Yeah.
that's where the Fertile Guppies come from, and it's really just a play on everybody in the community working together to at that point in time to help each other, join each other's invite links. And that expanded to bringing on all these different services that we have to be able to help people really whitelist and travel in a school together through the open sea.
That's amazing. So can you kind of touch on the utility behind it? Some people are watching this with no clue what utility means,
Yeah.
but kind of how it what is the services offered from purchasing that guppy, from
So
holding a guppy?
yeah, so I think what we offer is a little bit different than what most NFT projects offer. Utility can be really different for anything, for any NFT. For us, we sort of see the service as a utility, which is unique. I don't see a lot of NFT projects that have service as a utility. And what that looks like for us is our service is really geared around, we kind of label as like a white glove service for NFT collectors. So it could be for brand new collectors, and it also can be for veteran collectors that just can utilize the service. And what the services are is, we're making announcements, we're notifying people of hot new projects that have great developers, great founders, that look very like a good prospective project, because it's always beneficial to be early on those projects.
Mhm.
Also, some projects, they don't have the same building phase. So some projects are kind of launched out pretty quickly, and you don't have as much time to analyze the project or the founders, and you're sort of trying to jump in as quick as possible. So we're notifying our community of those projects. So that's one thing. And then we're letting people know that there's some great projects out there. We also have a what we call as a rug check or a security check on projects for validity of their smart contract. So we have a team that reviews that to make sure that these projects are safe to buy.
Can you maybe touch on what a rug is for those who don't know?
Yeah, so rug is sort of a term that's a little bit coined for in this space for like pulling the plug, taking people's money and leaving, because in this space there, when you launch an NFT, you typically have a roadmap, which is kind of a business plan and sort of a future plan of what the NFT is going to look like or what that utility might look like. And then, if they launch and they're successful, they're making a lot of that money up front with promise of what the roadmap might look like, right? So a rug would be someone sort of just taking that money or pulling the chute on the project and not fulfilling the roadmap.
Yeah, and you could take it a step further, right? Like when you're setting up your budget for what your NFT production costs are going to be, you also have to factor in like your advertising. Then you lay out money for the back end after you sell your NFT to deliver on your roadmap, deliver on all the things that you're going to promise. What we've seen in if you've been around in the space for a little while is there's some really massive projects where sometimes they'll get up to like 250,000 people in their Discord, and instead of trying to move some of that budget to the back end where they can deliver on the utility, they stick it up front and they advertise the crap out of it, make everybody super excited. People buy the NFT and then the guy's out of there, man. Like that's a rug.
Yeah.
And when you invest in a rug, it hurts because like I was talking about before, we all work so damn hard to get into these whitelists, and to know that you've dedicated like a month of your time to grind and get your invites, and then to find out that the guy who was running the project just like completely pulled the plug on it and had no desire to execute on the back end of his plan. It's brutal, man. And that's why we've partnered with Tetra, who's all about blockchain security. He's been amazing.
Yeah, I've for those of you who don't know, folks gave me a guppy and made me an honorary mod in the chat to help me kind of get up to speed and learn. And the information that I've learned in the last 2 weeks, just from even just going back in and reading through some of the conversations that are going on, and Tetra's definitely been right on a few projects where he's like told people don't go in on this. There's a few things that don't make sense in the back end, and it's important. Yeah, and I think the roadmap is huge. A couple of projects didn't have roadmaps, and they're promising a bunch of things. So you're saying you're going to be the best in this, but you're not really laying out the foundation or the groundwork of what you're doing in it.
So let's circle back to the utility of our NFT, right?
Okay.
So we're sort of like I said, that one-stop shop, that white glove service for NFT collectors. So we're letting you know about some great projects. We're checking the back end on them, and then we're helping you buy those NFTs by getting you the best access to purchase it, which is through the whitelist. A whitelist is like early access to be able to buy before the public. And in order to do that, these projects are asking you to help them grow their server and advertise and do stuff. And so our promoters are helping you do that promotion part for you. So, these new projects, if they're going to be good, if it's going to be a well worth project to buy, you're going to have to do some groundwork, and we're taking that away from you. We're doing it for you with our promoters. So that's really been the best utility that NFT collectors have gotten from our service, from our NFT and our utility is that our promoters are doing that work for you, giving you some time back, and then we also have a crypto channel where we're discussing crypto and all that's new in crypto, and having kind of weekly AMAs and answering questions on that front. We also have we're giving back whitelist opportunities to our collectors and NFT giveaways. So our collectors are just winning on all fronts, right? They're making money. We're hearing stories all the time of guys are coming back to our Discord and they bought one guppy and they're using the service, and all of a sudden they just made an amazing sale for 0.3 ETH or for 1 ETH, and we're celebrating that in the Discord, right? So we're constantly getting these wins. Our community members are getting these wins, and it's just been awesome, you know. And we keep hearing that like more and more of our members are just telling their friends, and we're kind of like they feel like we're flying under the radar because they're like, it's too good to be true. They're making all this money by using our service. So that's been awesome. Like celebrating those wins with the community has been really awesome.
Let's touch on that. Like, how important is a community to build your community out before you launch your project?
Yeah, definitely. Like that was a few months process, right? And our biggest thing was we didn't come in with a big budget to advertise and do all this stuff. It was all organic growth, you know, just collectors that had the same mindset, and we were solving a problem that we saw in the NFT space, and that was taking away some of our time. And we sort of solved that problem, and then other NFT collectors would just, you know, they start seeing the same thing. They started, you know, their time was getting zapped trying to get whitelists on different projects. And as we solved that, then you know, people were just telling their friends, and more people were coming in, and that's kind of how we just grew. Was the NFT space is really like a small space because it exists in Discord and on Twitter, and you know, you see a lot of the same faces. You're communicating with the same people in other projects, and so that word just got out. That word just got out organically, and that's how we grew. And we always just made sure that we were providing the best service, that we were always there for the community and answering questions, and that I think that just kind of paved the way for our success. Is people just, you know, they found that trust in us. So.
Yeah, something I can definitely attest to. I know you guys both work full time. Both of you have 3 children, and I still see both of you online at like 3 a.m. answering requests and making it, trying to get stuff done. James, could you walk us through like the creation of a project? You know what I mean? So like, what from when you said we're going to do this, what's step 1, you know, to getting it launched?
Well, I think first of all, you should never be looking for an NFT to be able to launch, right? Like the idea should be very natural, and it should be like, it should just hit you in the head and be like, hey,
100%.
this makes sense, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And like folks and I, we didn't start our group to make an NFT. We made an NFT because of our group, right? And as we became smarter and smarter in the NFT space and understood, hey, you know what? Having an NFT will allow us to provide these services to people on a much broader scale, right?
Amazing.
So that's kind of that's step number 1, is like coming up with that idea, finding that idea. Step number 2 is I would say has to be like mapping it all out. Like don't just start like drawing your art. Don't start developing a smart contract until you know what that roadmap's going to look like, because your roadmap is so important to how you design your smart contract. I would even argue it's even important on how you lay out your art, because it depends on the different phases of your project. Like in ours, we have a breeding contract, so we're developing now these baby gups to be able to go with the fertile guppies as well. You know, so I would say number 2 is create your roadmap and figure it all out. And then really is just finding the right developers to work with you, unless you are a developer on your own end. If you're not, make sure you do a lot of groundwork and make sure you know who you're working with, because this space is wonderful as it is. It's completely unregulated, right? If you end up finding someone who says that they can build you a smart contract and they can't execute on it, and you send them your Ethereum, it's gone, right? Like there's no 1-800 number you can call up to get your money back, right? So do your homework, ask for examples of work that they've done in the past. And if you don't have an artist as well, make sure you spend a lot of time with your artists and make sure that they're able to really incorporate your concept drawings and your visions. And then after that, it's the decision on how much you want to put up front in marketing your project, right? Many of these projects that are extremely successful have very, very large marketing budgets, very large advertising budgets. And as folks said, we did it the complete opposite way, right? We started small and we wanted to grow after organically. So we didn't feel the need to spend, $50,000-$60,000 on advertising, whereas some different projects would require that. So once you figure that all out, and then it's just executing your roadmap.
What would it cost you to launch a project for most project? Not talking about something where people, just like a typical kind of a project like yours that people are starting without the marketing budget. I know that when you're looking at launching NFT, you have to get your smart contract created, you want to get it audited, and then you have to pay to get it deployed, and you want to have the developer around in case something goes on. What would that look like in cost for someone looking to kind of jump into the space, a low end and a high end?
Impossible to answer, right? Like you can imagine like art, how much it could cost you anything, right? Like you can pay next to nothing, you can pay millions for art. And it's the same thing with the smart contract. Like, these developers that have developed amazing projects, they're very sought after because, like they have very intricate parts to their NFT and breeding and rewarding and the tokenomics behind everything, and those developers are sought after. So and also like having that name attached to your project, an amazing artist or an amazing developer, that has a cost to it too. So an impossible question to answer. Like it could be endless. Like it could be anything, right?
Sure enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you do have, like, unless you're a developer though, you got to pay for. You can go the Gary V route and draw pictures and sell like little pictures, but
hey, don't hate on Gary V, man.
Don't hate on Gary V. I got
don't hate on Gary V.
I think we can all agree though that the art is like it's just him, right? It's just his thing.
Yeah.
It's his image, right?
It's his thing, which is fine, but he didn't pay for the art. I don't think. He just drew them, right? And so, but I'm sure he's not developing smart contracts and doing all this other stuff that's and he's built obviously a great name and a business for himself. So like that's a totally different beast. But the art doesn't always have to be the focal point or there's different parts to it. So I mean, it's a hard.
I think what you're saying
question.
basically is Gary V's artwork isn't amazing, but the utility behind it is what really matters. Where it's more important to make sure you're providing for the community with the utility of what you're using.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. Yeah. I think what Gary V has created is truly amazing. He's found a way to put his brand out there and bring so many people, bring awareness to so many people about this space. Everybody in the NFT community owes a lot of support to Gary V for really growing this marketplace the way it is now.
I will not argue that one bit, because my first episode was.
We know you're a big Gary V guy, so
yeah. He's gonna be on the show one day. I don't know what day. I haven't booked him yet.
Oh yeah, nice. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Invite me when he does. Okay.
Yeah, we'll come back for sure. We'll come back for that one.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, James, you're an accountant. Folks, you're a real estate agent. How do you see NFTs playing out in your profession?
Ooh, in my profession. Okay, so on my end, as an accountant, I think very practically. It's something that's just ingrained in my head. I see that there's a huge use case for NFTs in real life application. I see, besides for all the fun that NFTs can have, and I'll let folks talk about the fun piece, but I'll talk about what I think in practical application is, I see businesses being able to launch products through NFT. I envision medical records being stored on NFTs. If you have a driver's license, why couldn't your driver's license be an NFT that's owned specifically to you? Think about the amount of risk that would be mitigated of identity theft if everything was stored very very safely on a blockchain. It's blockchain is one of the greatest developments in technology in recent time, and I think it's there to keep everybody safe going forward. And I do think that there is some really awesome real life application of it.
Yeah, I agree very Very much with that statement. Could not agree. What about you folks?
Yeah, I guess like for me, it always goes back to community, community and like providing a service, right? So for me in real estate, like I provide a service. I also see myself as a bit of a consultant, right? Like a big part of what I do is just consulting and guiding people in the right direction and making decisions and what they're going to do. So, because ultimately, like they got to make their own decision, but so what I find is what's valuable is, when I get a referral from a past client that had great service, that got great advice, they're happy to refer me to their friends or family, right? And so that's where like that community part comes in, and through blockchain, through tokenization, you can kind of build out a community, and you can reward people within the community, and you can kind of grow. And I think real estate is something that people like to talk about. I think, you talk to your neighbors, and when the market's hot and it's a hot topic, people like to, discuss real estate and what's sold on the street and stuff. So that community could be huge, right? And through blockchain, I think it can kind of fast track that. So who knows? We'll see. I don't see anyone really doing anything Web3 related or blockchain related in real estate yet, but it's coming for sure.
You actually remind me of something I want to touch on. Can you guys touch on tokenization? So one thing I've been struggling to wrap my head around is not tokenization, staking. So I know you guys are coming up with a feature where you can stake your guppies to make little baby gups. How is that important? Because a lot of people are talking about staking all these coins or staking projects where they can earn passive income. Can you kind of explain what you know about that and learn me up?
So it's both, right? Like staking is all about reward and rewarding through token and then having value to the token, right? So it's both. It's tokenomics. It's staking is kind of one and one, right?
Okay.
I don't know if Jamie, you want to take that or
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. So, so in terms of staking, there's a bunch of different reasons why you might want to stake your cryptocurrencies, right? And that's outside of the realm of NFTs, and I'm certainly not an expert in it, but just very high level. You can provide your cryptocurrencies in some situations in term for yield farming, which is being able to lend out your cryptocurrency and get a reward for lending it out to somebody else. There's also I started off the show by saying that I started in this world as a miner. That's called a proof of work network. So the Ethereum network right now is a kind of a quasi proof of work, proof of stake network. And that proof of work network essentially powers the blockchain. But other blockchains work off proof of stake. And in order to keep their blockchain going, they require you to they ask for people to stake with them. So you lock up some of your coins, and then they pay you a reward for that. So those are the two main different types of staking in the crypto world itself. And then when you change that when we look at it into NFTs, it kind of has the same relevance, right? For our guppies, if you lock up your guppies and so essentially you're staking them, you're now taking them off of the market. So you're now increasing the value of the floor price, and now you're helping the project as a whole succeed. So by doing that, we pay you a reward, and the reward for us is going to be gut bucks, and gut bucks will be able to be our currency within our NFT in our Discord ecosystem, and you'll be able to exchange those gut bucks for invites, for potential whitelists that our grinders bring out, and many other fun and exciting prizes that we'll be able to do auctions with.
It's amazing. That's a great explanation. I appreciate that. So what is next for Fertile Guppies? Kind of what's next on your roadmap? What are you guys hoping to do soon coming up?
Yeah, so I'll say we've got tons of ideas. Obviously, this space has no lack of imagination, and just your imagination does go. And we have some amazing ideas and plans for the future. But right now it's just about, like Jamie has said, is executing on the roadmap that we have in front of us, so that we can continue to grow, and people within our community see that we're executing on that, and that's how we've been growing so far. So the immediate roadmap is we're developing our staking contract so that we can reward people for staking and holding and helping us grow, and having that token where we're able to exchange that for our service. So that's really the immediate roadmap. In the staking contract as well, you're going to be able to breed and get a baby gup by having both a male and female NFT in the staking contract. And that's sort of the immediate timeframe of what we're working on over the next month, getting that out, and then going to the future with some other ideas and changing, like really, like, you know, what we're planning or what we have ideas for in this year might change as the space changes, right? So it's just adapting and being able to adapt to.
So I got a question. When you're staking your male and your female guppy, so in the next phase of your project, you're going to stake the two of them, and that's going to spawn the baby gup, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So
Is that
any NFT that you have of ours, any fertile guppy that you stake is going to yield you reward, you know? So you're going to get tokens for that. And then what we're going to do is open what's going to be called breeding season. So during the breeding season, you know, let's say it's a 1 week breeding season. If you stake both a male and female during that time, you're going to get rewarded with a free NFT.
Oh, sick. Yeah. That's why I see all the trading going on in the chat group.
Yes, it's the trades. People are trying to pair up. Yeah, it's like it's like matchmaking in the guppy Discord.
Tinder.
Tinder for guppies. That's amazing. Well, guys, do you guys have anything else you guys want to add before we take off? I think you've given us a ton of information and told us a lot of great things about your project, and personally, I appreciate being involved in it.
Yeah, I'll just say it was cool, like how we've known you obviously through football and stuff, but so you posted something about this new NFT. You kind of like, once you hear about NFTs and you start to listen and jump in, you don't leave, right? Like the Web3 space just kind of takes your imagination. So I saw you finally posted something publicly, and my wife actually saw that. She's like, "Oh, Joe is like collecting NFTs now." So I just reached out. I was like, "Hey man, that's cool. Like, I just wanted to talk to someone about NFTs." And then you were like, "Yeah, I'm like just starting things out here." So that was awesome. And now you're like part of our project. You're modding the Discord, and it's cool. It's been awesome. So.
Yeah, you're done now, Joe. Like, say goodbye to sleep, man.
I
swear, I haven't gone to bed before 3 o'clock in so long.
Oh, that's crazy. I'll put my son down at 9. I'll fall asleep till midnight, and then I'll get up at like midnight and stay up till 3 a.m. and just like trying to find projects to buy, and it's crazy. It's consuming for sure, but I think that I just think the payoff's going to be big in the end. You know, if we can get a couple Bored Apes under my belt, I can retire.
Good luck. They're 100 each floor now.
I saw that. That's crazy.
And the journey will be fun along the way too, Joe.
Yeah.
It's this space is just, it's something else, man. It's something else.
Okay, I got a question for you. I'm launching a project with an artist friend of mine. I know I have chatted with both of you about it a little bit. What advice would you give us kind of as we're looking to start our own project and launch and build a community around that as well?
I think you really want to. Sorry, go ahead, Erik.
I was just gonna say, like, just don't wait until you're an expert. Don't wait on anything. Just kind of jump into the space, talk to people, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And like, even if you're a project lead, doesn't mean you know everything. Like, we're giving advice to people in our Discord, but we're learning a lot from people as well. So it's all about community, man. It really is. And like, don't be afraid to just go for it and learn and connect with people. And also, don't be afraid to ask people questions, because like, Jamie, how many calls did we have before we launched of like just people willing to help out? Like, people in the Top Shot community, people in the NFT community, just willing to help. Like they went through it. They launched a project. They did this. They're willing to share. Like, and these people, I don't know these people. They live hundreds of miles away. I just know them through. I've chatted with them maybe a few times in a different server. And I know who they are because they're in the space, but yeah, it's been really cool. So that's it.
I was actually just recently invited to Melbourne to have some shrimps in the Barbie with a couple of the boys in the Guffs chat, man. But Joe, it's all about it's all about just like Erik was saying, it's all about developing that core network of people that you trust. It's about building that network and making it stronger and stronger and stronger, because in this space, no one person can do this on their own. They need a strong community behind them and the people that they can trust. Just along the way, you're going to find some bad actors. You just have to be good at sifting through those bad actors and building up that network, man. That's what it's all about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One
you're going to make it. Joe, you're going to make it.
I know.
You're going to make it. Yeah.
We're going to have people in the Discord asking for fishing for invites for my project.
For sure.
That's good, man. I hope so.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with me today. We appreciate it. Just stick around after this and we'll chat as we close out. But thanks everyone for listening. If please like, share, comment, subscribe. Oh, one more thing. Where can we find you guys on social media?
I was just gonna say.
Sorry.
Whoa. Yeah. So fertileguppies.com is a website. So we sold out our drop 1. So you can't actively buy right now. You can't mint a new guppy until drop 2. So that will be announced soon. All of our community is happening in Discord. So you can follow us on Twitter, Fertile Guppies, at Fertile Guppies. You can join us on Discord. The link to the Discord is on the website. And the link to Twitter, everything's on the website. Yeah. So just come in, and you don't have to be an NFT holder to be part of the community. That's an important part. Is we've left certain parts of what we offer open to anyone that just wants to pop in and be part of our community. You get additional services when you own the guppy. So you can come in, you can hang out, you can be part of the community, and then you can wait for that second drop. You can go onto OpenSea right now. You can buy one on OpenSea, or you can wait for drop 2, and then you can get into the community.
Awesome, guys. Thanks everyone again. Appreciate your guys' time. Wisdom for Our Children at Wisdom Children 1 or Wisdom for Our Children on Instagram. And thank you guys so much for your time. Have a great day. Cameras off, boys.
Man. Thanks.